Hello, welcome to Iron Dinos. Today we're looking at Rocket Knight Adventures, which is one of November's games with gold. It starts very serenely with our man having retired for, well, let's assume 20 years after his previous adventure, and then it all kicks off. So, have you played any of this one, Adam?
I've played a little bit, not too much in depth just yet. This is my next protocol to give this a good fair few hours to see if I really enjoy it. But I've played a little bit of it, yes.
Oh, very nice. I completed it. Took under 2 hours, but I forget what I was doing. I was doing something at the same time. I was editing the podcast, so I was listening through that to just, iron out the wrinkles and stuff like that. So I was just playing this in the background. And yeah, it's a very pleasant little game. I think it looks and controls a little basic.
Okay.
I think what they took from the original was probably more the license and the core mechanic than anything else. But
Right.
But no, I found this to be a very pleasant little distraction. It wasn't at all. It wasn't particularly difficult. It wasn't particularly engaging. I was doing something else while I was playing it, but I found this very enjoyable and very easy to just kind of sit and click about with. As it gets later, it does get a little bit harder, but I never thought it got particularly challenging.
Okay.
But then again, when you beat it, it does open up a hard mode, so maybe it's a bit more difficult. Well, presumably it's a bit more difficult than that, but I don't really see a lot of need to play it a second time.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it.
Yeah, I quite like the controls on this one. Really easy to sort of get a hang of. As you said, not too difficult. Most difficult thing I think is probably the platforming element, and that isn't all that difficult. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. What I played so far. Have you played this character when he was about before?
Well, the old game.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have. I certainly recognise him, but it wouldn't be for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a Megadrive, but my sister did, and my then best friend did, and another one of my friends did. So I played quite a lot of Megadrive stuff as well as the SNES that I had. So
Yeah.
I believe I played him, but I may not have done. But you never know. That was the most useless mechanic in the game.
Alright.
I mean, it comes in handy later on when you're in the flying sections, which we show off in a bit.
Right.
But just in the platforming, I never used the gun. There was very little need to. I think there are a couple of enemies later on that it stuns, or maybe bosses later on that help stun. But
Right. Okay. Yeah.
By and large, I mostly just try to use the jetpack as my offensive weapon wherever possible because it looks really cool. That is much cooler than the swing. I think visually, and bear in mind, I think this was a budget title.
Right.
I think it was straight to Xbox Live Arcade and wasn't like 40 squids or whatever.
Right.
I think it kind of has the same issue that people had with Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2.
Right.
In that it looks nice and it looks clean, but it looks very basic even for the time.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's trying to be a bit of a glitch there. It's not trying to be any more than a little action platformer for kids, so
Right. Yeah.
I guess it doesn't need to be too much more Yeah, at that point I was kind of getting bored of waiting, so I was like, I've got full health, I can take the hits, it doesn't matter.
I'm getting through this, I don't care.
Absolutely. I just wanted to move forward.
Yeah, I think it's a very charming little game. Definitely be playing for it, especially if it's not too big games.
Yeah, like I said, I think I was at it about 2 hours. So,
is there many achievements to
It's
get in
not
it?
busy.
Is it quite simple?
I wasn't paying attention, to be honest.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
I'm sure there's probably one per level and so on. The end boss is a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
That's he wasn't. The end boss isn't as hard as the boss before it. It kind of goes a bit Metroid at the end in that you fight a boss with a lot of basically, I have a kryptonite in this kind of game, and that is waiting. And you fight a boss where you have to wait quite a lot.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I kept getting really impatient, so he got a few kills off me. And then everything explodes, and you have to do a really quick run out to escape the burning thing. Then you get the proper end boss, which was still a bit weighty, but he was a lot easier.
Yeah,
And that was actually really quite funny.
Okay.
I don't know if that's one of the first ideas they had, but that end boss is very amusing. Like there seems to be a lot of effort put into that, which is not to say there's not a lot of effort put into the rest of it. But you may have noticed there isn't a huge variety of enemies, and that does continue over the course of the entire game.
Right. Okay. It's not just a first level thing. Right. Okay.
No, a lot of the challenge kind of comes through the placement of enemies. Quite a lot of them are placed to... I'm trying to be smart here, look. I thought I could get all three. Kind of the placement of enemies, is a lot of them are put in places where they're more than likely gonna hit you. When you go up to where they are, rather than they have moves, patterns, and AIs that make them difficult in that way. But it's fine. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of problems with it. I like this end screen. I meant to leave it on for a second longer, but there you have it.
Pause the video.
The end screen gives you all the blue gems. They're a set number in a level, so it tells you how many of them you got. Same with the reds, same with the extra life, same with the hearts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stats you can look at there. It gives you overall time, stuff like that. So it does give you, if you want to play it in that way and challenge yourself, it does give you the all the stats you need to replay.
Right. Yeah. I'm pleased you showed this actually, because I was wondering about the flying element. I haven't yet experienced this bit.
Yeah. So this is the second main mechanic of the game. The free flying sections, which are pretty fun. I found the platforming a bit more fun because I found, as you'll see later, I'm trying to get all the gems in this. So it doesn't matter if I take a couple of hits here and there because I'm getting the gems, but there are a few I missed because they're on screen so quickly and you don't move quickly enough to get around them.
Right. Yeah.
Two main attacks. That shot is a lot more powerful, whereas the big blast there I did just wipes out a lot of the screen at once.
Yeah.
So both are quite handy. It took me a while to realise that wasn't that the power blast isn't more powerful, because normally, like in your Mega Mans and stuff like that the charge blast would also be more powerful, but it's actually significantly weaker. But it just can wipe out. Enemies very quickly.
Right,
when they're when they're like in a line of enemies and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, I bet it's useful there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that seemed really interesting.
Yeah, but these sections. Let's not say these sections weren't still fun. I still quite enjoyed them.
Yeah. No, I do quite like all the sort of flying mechanical games. So I'm looking forward to this bit. Looks like.
Yeah. And again, it's not massively challenging. It's certainly not an R-type.
Yeah.
A side-scrolling shooter. You notice my energy is getting low. Things are a little bit hairy here, but nothing I can't really. Half my damage has been me intentionally smacking into things to get the gems. So
Give me that gem.
It's not massively challenging.
How does your life just regenerate when you're not getting hit?
No, I think you need to specifically get those little heart containers.
Right. Okay. And then is that your boost bar above that?
Oh yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that in the first level as well. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. That is the rocket bar. So
right.
When you see me do a little speed boost on this, that bar will deplete a bit.
Right,
Same with shooting off shots. So when it's depleted, you can't use it, and there's a cooldown. If you completely deplete it, there's like a cooldown for a couple of seconds. It's the same in the platforming levels. So whenever I use my if I were to use the shot, which I don't, but whenever I use the jetpack, it depletes that bar a little bit. And so if I were to jetpack, it'd pretty much completely get rid of it, and I'd have to wait a couple of seconds till it's refilled itself.
Right,
and then you can just continue to use it. Which is just to stop you spamming your way through the whole level just using the jetpack, I guess.
That'd be a bit overpowered.
Yeah, and on this, stop you just spamming that kind of charge power shot over and over. So here's the first boss.
Ah. That looks like another version of you, just a woman version.
Yeah, that's the rival called Axel Gear.
Axel Gear. Cool name.
Yeah.
Like the name.
Yeah, right. It's a very 90s name, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Beverly Hills Cop type. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he's obviously not very tricky. It was funnily enough on this boss the first time I played it where I realised that the spread shot, the powered up shot didn't do as much damage because I was hitting him with it. I just could not finish him off, and then I went back to just hitting him with normal shot. I'm like, oh right, that does significantly more damage.
Right, yeah.
That was a fun little boss fight. He shows up again later in the game, maybe a couple of times, certainly once more, and he's a lot more difficult. But yeah,
sweet.
All in all, I think this is a fun little game. It's definitely worth 2 hours of your time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing this.
Cool. Okay, join us next time for whatever else we play. Bye.
See ya.